Welcome to today's math lesson. It's me, your favorite third grade teacher. Yay! All right, now I just wanted to go ahead and make sure everybody was on the same page, make sure there weren't any questions. So I wanted to teach the lesson today. And of course, if you're on page 169, we know that we're regrouping in the ones place when we're multiplying time a three-digit number. But no use in fretting because we've got this. We're hardworking third graders. Now, this first problem that you see up here, I've color-coded. It's not in your book. It's an example. And the reason why I've written it is because I really wanted to emphasize the order in which we multiply when we have more than one digit in one of our factors. All right, you'll notice in the ones place, it's highlighted in green because that's where we start. We always multiply the number times the other factor in the ones place. And then you see this next one is in yellow. Okay, that's the second digit that we multiply, and it's in yellow because I want you to be careful because sometimes you might have to regroup, and if you do, that means we need to add. And then the last digit in this factor is in red, tells you that's where you're going to stop. Whatever the last digit is, because sometimes we might be multiplying times a factor that has a number, a digit in the thousands place, that would be red. But so whatever the last number is, okay, that's where we would stop. All right, so let's just go through the steps. Like I said, it's just an example. Step 1, multiply the ones, and then it says regroup if necessary. All right, so 3 times 6, class? Yeah, it's 18. All right, so we write the 8 because we can only put one digit in each place value. All right, and in the number 18, the 8 is in the ones place, and then the 1 is in the tens place. You see that was already written because this is actually take 3. All right, hopefully we get it all right this time. All right, and then step 2, it says multiply the tens, and then add any tens brought over. Okay, so let's see. We have 3 times 1, which is 3, and we did bring a 1 over. Okay, a 10 over. So it's 3 times 1 plus 1, which is 4. You write the number 4 in there. And then lastly, step 3 is to multiply in the hundreds place. So we'll be multiplying 3 times 2. 3 times 2, class, is, yes, it's 6. All right, so 648. Okay, let's do the one that's in your book. This is the math mystery that you see. All right, so let me just kind of heal this one, bring it down a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. All right, I don't want you to see everything, so I'm gonna just put this one right here. Okay, so this is our math mystery that's on the first page of 169. It says Cape buffalo form herds of hundreds, and this herd includes 239 buffalo. If another herd of the same number exists, how many Cape buffalo would there be in 2 herds combined? Math mystery, this was your lesson from yesterday. First step is to identify the question. So they wanted to know how many buffalo would be in the 2 herds combined. Step 2 is to identify the information that is important. All right, so you should be circling that there are 239 buffalo in a herd and that there are 2 herds. Okay, so now we have we know the question, we have the information that's important. Step 3 is to strategize. What are we going to do? Are we going to add, subtract, multiply, divide? Well, I know you probably say, Mrs. Smith, it is multiply all day because we're in the multiplication chapter. Okay, yes, we're multiplying. You can see they put the multiplication sentence right underneath it. But how do you know? What if it was a math problem later on in the chapter or later on in the book? The reason why we know it's multiplied is because there's 2 different things. There's one, a clue word. The word combined means to put it together. Whenever you see words like combine, altogether, total, that tells you you're either going to add or you're going to multiply. We know, so that's the first clue. So addition or multiplication. Next, we know we're going to multiply because we have 2 sets that are exactly the same. Whenever you have sets, multiples of those sets, that's when you can multiply because remember multiplication is just rapid addition. Okay, so yes, we're going to multiply and yeah, you were right, but that's the reason why. So we're multiplying and here it is right here, 239 times 2. Now I've illustrated all of these steps right here beside it. Okay, so just written in a little bit different way. I want you to understand why it is we take these steps. All right, remember the first step is to multiply 2 times the number in the ones place or 9 times 2. Which is 8. Okay? All right, next. A second step was to multiply we'll be multiplying 2 times the digit that's in the tens place, which is 3. Now, but remember, this is not just 3, it's actually 30. Because remember, 3 in the tens place represents 3 tens or 30. 30 times 2 is 60. Okay? And then lastly, step 3 tells us to multiply the 2 times the number in the hundreds place. So that would be 2 times 2, but remember this 2 is in the hundreds place, so it's actually 2 hundredths. Okay? So 200 times 2 is 400. Okay. All right, so now we add them all together. All right, so we have 8 plus 0 plus 0, which is 8. We have 6 plus 0, which is 6. And then we have 4 plus 0, which is 4. 468. Why is there something not right here? Okay, all right. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. Are you guys correcting me? Because I hope you are, because Mrs. Smith just made a mistake. Because I said 9 times 2 is 8. It's not, it's 18. All right, so I'm sorry. 1 plus 6 is 7. Oh, my word. Okay. All right. See, that's why we all need to be together, because Mrs. Smith, I'm just losing my mind not seeing you guys every day. Okay. But anyway. All right, so this was just breaking it up into the steps. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it, straight through. 2 times 9, because we start in the ones place, is 18. I write my 8, and here's my 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And then 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? So you can see we come up with the same number, 478, 478. All right, so let's do one more. Okay? One more. All right, here we go. All right, same idea. 312 times 3. This is the example that's on the bottom. Okay, and the reason why I'm just reiterating this, I want you to see why it is we go in the order that we do. We first start by multiplying the factor times the second factor in the ones place. Okay, 3 times 2, I have that right here, is 6. If I make a mistake, you yell really loud, maybe I'll hear you. The second step is to multiply the 3 times the 1 that's in the tens place, which represents 110, or 10 times 3, which is 30. And then lastly, we multiply the 3 times the 3 in the hundreds place. 3 in the hundreds place represents 300. Okay, so 300 times 3, okay, our basic fact is 3 times 3, which is 9. So we can just add on those 2 zeros. Okay, we remember how to do that. So that's 900. Now let's add it up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 0 is 3. And the 9 plus 0 is 9. Okay? Now let's compare it over here. This is not always practical to go ahead and break it all up. We want to be able to just multiply the two factors straight through. All right, so 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so they match up. Like I said, the reason why we did it the second way is so that you can see why we have all those different steps, and to show you that it really does work. All right, so what your assignment is to go ahead and complete page 170, numbers 2 through 6. Okay, so work it through. They've broken it up the same way that you see it here, and I'll make sure to have the answers posted to see how you did. If you were able to get all of them correct, put it in the comment box for me and let me celebrate with you. All right, so let's get going, get those math problems done, and let me know how you did, or ask me any questions if you have any. All right, until then, I'll see you later.